Today's episode, I'm going to be a little bit more relaxed than usual, and I'll explain why. I am currently sitting in a hotel room looking out a window. No, don't get too excited. The view's okay. I can't complain, though. I mean, it's, I am here relaxing at the Gaylord Hotel in Washington, D.C. My wife, Alexandra, is on not a business trip, but, they get together once a year and do these awards and whatnot, which I think is pretty cool. It's all about building morale. And I like that. I can support that. So I got to tag along. And some of these events I can't join. Like, there's multiple things going on today, and my wife is a very busy person. So the spouses that come with can't attend for the most part some of these things, so we get to do our own thing. So I am literally chilling in a hotel room, looking out at the other side of the hotel. It's like a big courtyard, and I'm 11 floors up, looking at the hotel. But the sky is blue and the sun is shining. I hope you all have been doing, pretty well. Taking it easy today. This is episode 32 of the Journeyman Chronicles. This is part of my journey. I wanted to do another one of these episodes. I had an interview scheduled that we needed to reschedule. And so my guest and I are in the middle of redoing that, rescheduling that, trying to get that figured out. So I figured, this is a perfect opportunity for me to throw out another journey episode. But this one's a little different because I'm not really going to reflect on anything. I'm not going to really get all nostalgic. I just want to share with you my shit show of a day yesterday, and how that ties into my journey. Because see, I'm always going to tie things back to my journey. But yeah, so if anybody's ever driven to Washington, D.C. or to Maryland, this area during rush hour, the shit show that takes place on 95. I can't even remember any of the other routes that I was taking. It's fucking ridiculous. People are driving like they just literally woke up and found a license in their pocket, and they were like, I can go driving now. Like, I don't get it. People cutting you off, the stop and go. Look, I'm all about the hustle on the road, and I can keep up, but goddamn, don't put me in a position where I'm gonna cause an accident. I passed at least 3 vehicles that were damaged. Abandoned vehicles on the shoulder of the highway. Just damaged. That's almost like they got into an accident and they said, fuck it. Like it was a GTA version in real life where someone just wrecked and jumped out and probably hopped into another car and took off. Crazy. But, the funny thing about yesterday, besides that, was I wouldn't have been as stressed. If it wasn't for the fact that in the middle of all that, I realized that I forgot my dress shoes. And let me explain. I was hoping yesterday when we got here, with everything going on and my wife being very busy, I can't join her in everything. But last night they were having and when I say they, it's the small little group of people my wife works with, the department or the particular branch. I don't know how to label it, but very lovely people. I got to meet them last night. They were having their own little dinner, and I was able to go to that. And so in my mind's eye, I'm thinking, this is a perfect opportunity for me to really, get to know and meet who my wife works with, but also just be presentable. And I don't get many opportunities like that to dress up somewhat. It was a semi-formal event. I just figured I'd wear a button down with a nice pair of dress slacks and dress shoes. You know, nothing too over the top, but just right, you know. So I did a lot of work yesterday at the house, and we're rushing to get going. And of course, I'm ironing my button up and my dress slacks, and I've got the socks. You know, you're going through the whole shebang. I've got multiple outfits also throughout the week, very casual and laid back, my kind of style. But you know, last night I was like, you know, it'd be nice to dress up. So anyway, we're about halfway to D.C. and you know, everybody and their mother is cutting me off, and I'm just irate, but maintaining my cool. And then all of a sudden, it hits me that I forgot my dress shoes, and I look over at my wife, and she's on the phone, you know, doing work-related stuff, and I kind of mouth the words to her with this big expression on my face, like, I forgot my dress shoes. And she couldn't react because she was talking, so she kind of just smiled and nodded her head. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Because all I brought with me were the sneakers that I was wearing at the moment, some sliders to walk around in the hotel room, and blue Sperrys. And now these aren't like I don't have brown Sperrys with me. I left my brown Sperrys at home. I'm talking about, you know, those boat shoes, but they're like a blue cloth, and it's got like 2 shades of blue. And you can't wear those with just anything. And I like them. They're comfortable. So I brought those because I figured I could wear them, you know, today as I speak. I figured I could wear them, and I would have my dress shoes for last night's event. So, of course, now I go into panic mode because I'm like, I'm going to look fucking ridiculous meeting my wife's coworkers for the first time if I'm wearing a button-up with blue slacks and fucking blue Sperrys. So now at this point, I got like multiple variations of what I can wear depending on what I have in my bag, all revolving around my Reeboks or my Sperrys. So we're laughing, my wife and I, and I'm glad we're laughing. And we're laughing at my expense, but it's fine because I'm laughing fine. I'm laughing along. Usually something like that would get to me, but I was keeping it cool. And I was like, we got to find like a Walmart or a something. There's got to be a shoe store somewhere around there, you know. And the problem is I wear size 15, so it's not like I can just walk in and buy a pair anywhere. I told her, I said, I'll squeeze into a 14 if I got to, just so I look presentable. So we're laughing, and people are cutting me off still, because, you know, this trip is a fucking shit show. And so, you know, my wife gets a hold of a shoe store that's literally like 2 minutes from the hotel that we're staying at, and then they don't even have anything above a 13. And then we can't really find anything else or anywhere else to look, and it starts to become very apparent to me and to both of us actually that we're not going to be able to make it there and then go find shoes, because by the time we get to the hotel, we got to quickly get dressed and go to this dinner. So we're running out of time, we're running out of options, and it's like, okay, all right, I'm clearly going to be wearing blue Sperrys with my dress pants, and I'm just going to have to just roll with it. But then my wife's like, well, I mean, like, did you bring a polo? And I said, no, I didn't. And then I realized, wait, I did. I brought a navy blue polo. And she said, well, just keep the gray cargo shorts you have on right now. Put your blue polo on and throw those Sperrys on. You'll be fine. And I did. And you know what? everybody was dressed way casual, way more casual than I anticipated. I would have been overdressed had I came in with my button-down dress slacks, Sperry apparel. But it worked out. And you know what? It was really warm in the restaurant we were eating at anyway. Well, it wasn't too warm, but it was warm enough where I know if I would have been wearing that button up, because I was a snug, like, you know, I'm a big guy, but I could have pulled it off. But it would have been a little bit, you know, around the collar, kind of. You know, we ate at a Mexican restaurant called Rosa Mexicana, and great food. Had a couple margaritas, kind of. Maybe I drank them too fast because I was hot. But anyway, yeah, I would have been definitely uncomfortable. So it worked out. So the Blue Sperry fiasco that took place on the way to Washington, D.C. yesterday ended up being, you know, nothing to worry about. A lot of dramatics, a lot of jokes. But I wanted to share that with you because sometimes when something doesn't go my way, typically I get angry and upset. I do. I get frustrated because in my mind, in my OCD mind, when things don't go according to plan, that means everything's falling apart. That means there's no order. That means my brain can't function. I can't grasp that, and I start to get really frustrated. But yesterday, I didn't, and it kind of surprised me, and you know, it worked out. I didn't get upset, and I didn't spoil the day, and my wife wasn't upset and frustrated. You know, we just kind of rolled with it, and we laughed and had a good time. And I was trying to think, rather, what was it about that was different than any other time? And I gotta be honest, I think it's just the fact that I know I'm in a place in my life right now where things are starting to change. I'm getting a new opportunity at a new job. I start next week. You know, my time at FedEx Freight is coming to an end. And I always knew how frustrated I was with my current job and the time of it that I was there and the schedule that we were all forced to work. And I don't want to say forced. I mean, no one's forced to work, but you know what I mean. Pretty much the hours that we were working there and the time that I was spent away from things that I needed to get done over the years was starting to eat at me. And I'd say the last 3 years, I've just been really in a depressed state. You know, I have this hurdle in my mind where I didn't go to college. I mean, I did, but I didn't finish it really. And I don't have anything of a degree to fall back on. I've always just done blue collar-esque jobs to get by. And this was the first job that I was actually, you know, there for a significant amount of time. It's an 11 years at FedEx. And I'm making good money, and I had to work my way up there, but I'm making good money. But I'm not happy. And this goes back to the Hourglass episode I did. That I'm willing to leave money on the table to be happy, and I did. I took a significant pay cut, but it's manageable for us. But the upswing is that I'm going to have a lot more flexibility with my time, and I'm going to have a normal schedule, and I'm going to have my weekends, and I'm going to have time with my family to do things. And I think the subconscious stress is starting to go down, where little things like only bringing blue Sperrys and not your dress shoes isn't stressing me out, where any other time I would have been furious. I would have been upset and embarrassed, and I would have been upset that my wife wasn't as upset as I am, even though that sounds so stupid. That would have been the truth, you know? But yeah, I think I'm just at a precursor of what's to come, and I'm just enjoying. I'm trying to enjoy my life, and I'm 43 and about to start a new job. I'm gonna miss the people I work with, and that's the truth. 11 years at one place. Look, regardless of how frustrating the job was, I still cherish a lot of the friendships that I made. And working a job like that as a dock associate, in the freight industry where you're loading freight, you're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to work with a lot of different people, and people are coming and going. And this is a cycle that goes on. I don't want to say every day, but you could probably meet new groups of people every 2-3 months in that business. It's just a cycle of new people that are coming, and some stay and some quit, and then it starts all over another 3 months. And you do that for 11 years. You start working with hundreds and hundreds of different people. You don't realize it. But the other day I just started naming off the people that I work with, and I had to stop around 110. And people that I work with now and that I used to at FedEx. So I'm going to miss these people, these friends, these relationships, these really close relationships with some people that helped me during a very, very dark time in my life, that I consider very, very dear friends. And I have their numbers, and I'm going to keep in touch with them. And they know that. I'm really going to miss them, but I look forward to meeting new people and working with new people. Sometimes you have to you're going to have to make a decision in your life, what you want to do. And hopefully you can make that decision young enough where you realize the importance of quality of life. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and you got to make your money, and work is going to consume you. Work is going to consume you regardless, but if you're happy or if you're not happy is the difference. And I've had my time of I need to take advantage of this overtime, like I've talked about before, to make that money. And by all means, right now where I work for the next week or so, that's a great place to work overtime and make that money. But a lot of us that are there, including myself, have had our fair share of that, and we have families outside of work, or we have obligations outside of work that are family related, that are, people are being put in a position to sacrifice time, which is unfortunate. And I hope that those people that are stuck in that limbo find what they're looking for, or find some peace working where they're working now. And there's people that have been there for a very, very long time. And this goes for any job. People that have been invested for so long that they have their incentives, in a way, they kind of outweigh starting over somewhere else. And I get it. I just hope that peace of mind for you comes sooner than later, rather. And regardless, if it's where you're at now, or if you decide the hell with it, I'm gonna take a chance and start somewhere new. I think happiness really should be the above all motivator. That's all. So I wish everybody luck. For I think 9 months, I don't know how long it's been since I started this podcast. 9-10 months, I guess. I don't know. I've done a really good job of being honest about my frustrations about work, but not completely shitting on my job. And I'm not saying I want to start shitting on them now. I'm being a little bit more vocal about it now because I really don't care. By the time this airs, I'll be 1 or 2 days left before I leave there. So, I've got no beef or qualms. I just find it very unfortunate that of a company so big that they could afford to not care how their employees feel, then that's a problem. And that's a business I wouldn't want to be associated with. And good luck to anybody that feels different and works in an environment like that where they feel like it's healthy. I don't know. I can't do it, and so I'm stepping back, taking a pay cut, but it's manageable, and I'm looking forward to being happy and having some time with my family and my wife, who's been, taking care of a lot of extra responsibilities because I just haven't been able to be present enough. And so I'm excited. So I guess that's why, this kind of leads back to the whole not getting upset in the car on the way to Washington, D.C. is because I think I'm just starting to kind of just feel less stress, and I'm not going to get too worked up, and that's what it's all about. And so right now I'm sitting here in this hotel room. It's quiet. I'm going to take a quick break and go get some drinks. And yes, drinks, plural. Because I can, goddammit. This is a no judgment zone. And I'll be back and I'll continue this episode. Because I'm not just going to give you a half hour today. I think I might give you a little bit longer. I think you guys deserve it. For those of you that have been riding with this podcast from the beginning and have been sharing your thoughts and praises, I appreciate it. So I'm going to give you a little bit more of an episode today. So let me take a quick break. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right. There's that. Yes, this is a truly wild berry. We just stick to the basics. So I went and got something to eat, and like the whole it's called the hell is this place? Gaylord National. So there's a lot of shit going on in here, and I didn't really feel like walking around. So I went and got something to eat over in what seemed to be like the courtyard. This place is like, this is some upscale shit, in my opinion, which is pretty dope. I mean, they even have like, you can go buy some alcohol, and it's just all presented beautifully. Just to completely, trick you and make you forget that you're paying $9 a bottle for a beer. Or in this case, some Truly, which was a little bit more expensive. But I had to have my Truly. And I got a croissant. So forgive me for eating right now. But a brother's got to eat. Sometimes you just got to go with the punches. Is it astronomical how much they're charging for alcohol for anything in this place? Sure. But I'm having a good time. When in Rome, do as Romans do. I am literally making a mess with this croissant. You know how croissants are all flaky and whatnot. Just flaking everywhere with my croissant. My croissant and my Truly. Bought a bottle of wine because my wife asked me to. Because when she comes back, she wants some wine. Now, why am I telling you this? Oh, no. God damn, this is a mess. Literally flakes everywhere. It's a buttery croissant. It's really good. But damn, it's a mess everywhere. I have to be completely honest with you right now. That was the best croissant I've ever eaten. Ever. Moist and buttery. Flaky, but that's to be expected of a croissant. So anyway, I've got my Truly here. I'm back with you all. Thank you for being patient. I know, to you it wasn't that long because I edit it that way, but it's been at least an hour or two from my first half of this episode. But, finishing up what I was talking about and jumping into some new shit here. I've got some time on my hands now where I'm really going to be focusing on the podcast along with other things. And I'm excited. And right now, I gotta be honest, I'm really excited. I'm chilling in this hotel room with the AC running. I got some alcohol. And look, yeah. I'm hoping we're all adult enough to know that I'm not glorifying alcohol. I just like drinking it. And some of you right now might be listening to this podcast unable to consume some alcohol. And maybe you don't drink anyway, and that's fine. But, if you do, and right now you're like, damn it, I'm at work, Felix. I can't have a drink. It's okay. I'll have one for you. Hold on a minute. That drink was special, just so you know. You should know that. Your drink was wonderful. Currently, at the moment, while I'm recording this episode, I'm also getting a lot of I'm checking out how the last episode I did, episode 31 with Chef Lori Thomas, the Soulful Experience. I'm ecstatic about the turnaround for that. A lot of people tuned in for it, playing it. I love it, appreciate it. Working on video content right now. I like to usually have those done by Friday, but I've just been busy, and it'll be playing by the time you listen to this episode. That will already be up on YouTube. But my YouTube content, I'm really trying to push that as another platform. But it's tricky because I don't want to put the whole episode up there in the video because then nobody will listen to the podcast. And so I'm really trying to find a way to make all platforms work. So I put like a little sneak peek video up. And if you want to listen to the entire thing, you gotta check out the podcast on whichever platform you listen to your podcast: Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever. But that's what I'm up to right now, and I'm getting really creative, and I'm excited. I like digging in the mental crate, so to speak, of how I can step up my game for the podcast. Currently, also, I'm working with a good friend of mine, Jose Garcia. You might remember him from the podcast. Very early on, I interviewed Jose and his wife, Jazzy. Jose is going to be helping me with my website, so I'm excited for that. So I can't wait to show you that because I trust his creative approach, and I know it's going to look really, really dope. So I was talking to him. Him and his wife came over. We all had some pizza and some drinks and got to kick it. It was nice to meet them in person finally. I hadn't seen Jose in maybe 10 years in person. You know what I mean? Like actually catching up. So So there will be a Journeyman Chronicles website. I am going to be implementing some merchandise on the website. Look, I'm really, really, really trying to just fucking take this shit by the horns. If you listen to this podcast religiously, dare I use that word? If you listen to this podcast often, if you're a fan of the podcast, if there's anything that you would like me to implement, let me know. Some of you got my number. If not, you can email me, jmanchronicles@gmail.com. That's the letter J, M-A-N, Chronicles, CHRONICLES, @gmail.com. You can email me and talk to me. Let me know what you think. You can also message me on Facebook Messenger. You can Instagram message me. There's more than one ways to get a hold of me. Do not limit yourself. Find the path that works for you to get a hold of me. But if you got any ideas that you would like or any questions, hit a brother up. It's about 3:30 on a Saturday. Today's Saturday. Today is Saturday. You see what I mean? I forget what days are. That shit's going to change. That's going to fucking change. It's going to change because things in my life are going to change. Look, if you can put yourself in a position where you can remember what day it is, that's a bonus. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about you guys. Why don't you guys let me know what's up with your lives? Why don't you message the Journeyman? Let me know what you've been up to. Maybe I'll post that in one of my social media platforms. See if anybody bites and shares some shit. I would love to know what you guys are up to. I would like to know the changes in your lives. Family, career, financial, the upswings. And yes, the downfalls also. But we talk plenty about that on this podcast. I would like to know everything. I want to know what you're up to. That's the whole point of this, right? That's why I'm interviewing the people that I'm interviewing. People that are doing interesting, fantastic things, but have had to go through some ups and downs to get there. And they may not be big and great ups and downs. Sometimes they're subtle. A lot of people don't like sharing that shit, but they're subtle. If you pay attention to every episode, everybody has something they're working on. And so I look forward now to what I got coming next, and I'm excited. I'm stoked. I'm actually relaxed. And if anybody knows me, all serious now, if anybody knows me, they know that, at least I hope they see that, I'm not one to just sit around. I'm always working. I'm always doing something. And that's good. But now I really have an opportunity to slow down and focus on some big things. That's what I'm excited about. Focus on, taking care of our home, my wife and I, and the ideas and plans that we have, and having time to maintain our home. And I'll be honest, sometimes I feel like I talk about the same shit. And I apologize if anybody out there that's listening is like, OMG, not this again. But this podcast, certain parts of this podcast, when I talk about my journey, it's those episodes, these type of personal reflections, that's what that is. It's just me venting. For the most part, people are listening and they like it, so fuck it, right? I think people like listening to it because they agree, they relate. And it is nice to hear somebody vocalize their frustration, because I share that frustration and truly sometimes helps with that frustration. For those that are just joining the podcast recently, they may not understand the inside joke with Truly, but I've been considering Truly my unofficial sponsor since the beginning of the podcast. Just kind of plugging them along the way. So it's been a while since I did it, and I'm starting to do it again. But it's fun. And to be quite honest, there are some people that listen and they go get the Trulies. So truly, if you're listening, I'm actually helping you. Hook a brother up, get on board, sponsor the podcast, stop acting like you don't know. Okay? I don't care how many different varieties of flavors of wonderful Trulies you have. It truly would benefit you and behoove you to get on board the JMC train. But anyway, I'm a little more relaxed than I was in the beginning of this episode. We're going about 40 minutes, but honestly, it's been about 3 hours for me, considering the break that I took in the middle. So I've had a nice relaxing day here in my hotel room. I went walking around, but I gotta be honest with you, it's nice, but I'm much more at peace right now in this hotel room. I honestly would be on top of the world if I could smoke a cigar right now. And I don't know if there's a place to find cigars around here. I might have to venture out. But if I had a stogie right now, I would be pretty comfortable. I'd be very happy. I mean, I am happy, but you know what I mean. It's like these vices that we have. Everybody's got their own vice. I got mine. You know, vices are things that relax you, that you some might call them an addiction. I don't like that term. They're just the things that we like to do that get us comfortable. Some are healthy and some are not. Some might consider my drinking of any alcoholic beverage an unhealthy vice. I would encourage them to pick up the vice of kicking rocks and pounding sand. That's a wonderful vice. I like to have a nice drink and a cigar. I like to be at peace. I like to be with my wife and children, but I also like to be alone. It really depends. I haven't seen my wife in a few hours. I'm starting to miss my wife. I've had some alone time. I'm happy. But the point of this little segment here is that whatever you like doing, as long as it's safe, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself, especially if you're working hard, especially if you're doing a lot of work towards a goal. You're working hard for your family. You're working hard for, your children. You're working hard for a business that you're starting. You're working hard for your parents, or whatever the case may be. You and your significant other have a goal in mind, and you're working towards that. Every now and then you need to take some time, take a step back, and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the evening. Enjoy the day. You like to go and eat fruit? That's a wonderful vice. Go eat fruit. Go smell roses. Go take a walk through a park. That's not a vice I like, but some people like that shit. I think if I had enough Trulies, I probably then would go for a walk and not really be bothered by it. The point is we need to find something that makes us happy. Some people like to go, they buy season tickets to watch the Phillies play all year, or the Eagles. That's their vice. That's their shit. They just like to go. I think right now is a perfect opportunity for you to stop what you're doing and ask yourself, do you have a vice that's healthy? Do you have something that you love to do that calms you down, that relaxes you? And now that you've thought of it, do you do it enough? Do you do it often? Do you feel robbed of opportunities to explore your vices? Again, we're talking about healthy vices here, folks. Follow me. I haven't really been able to dive into as much as I want to, but I like, planting flowers and shit and watching things grow, and the process of, what kind of soil to use for what type of plant and when to water it, and watching things take root. That's a vice. Botany is a wonderful thing that I I would have loved to continue to further exploring. And I think now that I'm going to have some free time, I'll be able to do that. But my point is, that's a vice. That's something that triggers happiness inside you, relaxes you, calms you down, allows you to be still. What's your vice? Yes, of course, I'm going to say I've got some vices that start with tr and end with e. And that's cool. And I got cigars. I've mentioned those already. But, like I said, botany, that calms me down. You know what else calms me down? A vice of mine is grilling food, like barbecue, getting my grill ready, putting some charcoal down, getting that grill ready to go, getting it at a good 350, 400 degrees, whichever I'm cooking. Cook some burgers, cook some steak, smoke it. That type of shit relaxes me, calms me down. That's a vice. Some people like cutting their lawn. I like the process of it. I like maintaining a good lawn. I just don't like doing the work. But I throw on some headphones. I listen to a podcast. I listen to some lo-fi beats. That experience of maintaining my lawn is a healthy vice. These are things that we have to do, I feel. As people, we have to have these little moments where we can reward ourselves to maintain some sort of sanity. So what's your vice? Is it listening to the Journeyman Chronicles? Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll drink a Truly to that. That one's done now. But I've got another. But I only got two. I mean, fuck. $15 for a can of Truly. Listen, Gaylord National. This is a wonderful place, but fuck. I'm about to request a layaway program here or something. Can we just lay this shit away and I'll get it in, 2 days? Anyway, that was a horrible bit. But anyway, it's 91 degrees here. My kids are at home with my mom, like I said. Alexandra and I are having a good time, but we miss our children. But they're having a good time in the pool. I was able to peep them on the camera. They're having a good time in the pool. My son helped me get the pool cleaned. And it's nice to see him enjoying the hard work that he put into that pool. Now he gets the benefit from it, from having some swim time. I don't know how cold the water is, but it is 91 degrees out. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for things like that. And it's okay. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine, and it's okay to relish in good times, because bad times will come. Bad times will come. And so you have to be prepared for them. So the moment you have an opportunity to kick back, smile, look around, be thankful for what you have, do it. Do it and embrace a vice. And have fun and enjoy yourself. Live this life, my friends, regardless of what you believe in, what your, political party is, regardless of what your religion is, regardless of anything. As a human being in this world, you're entitled to be happy. So find your happiness, as long as it doesn't harm others, as long as it isn't taking away somebody else's happiness. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy this life. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy yourself by yourself. Enjoy being still. Enjoy the sounds of nature, the ambiance of the world. Enjoy the city life. Enjoy the country life. Enjoy the parties. Enjoy the late night conversations that you have with your loved ones in the middle of winter and sitting in front of a fireplace with wine and blankets. Dumb shit like that somebody right now might be like rolling their eyes to, but somebody else genuinely appreciates that. That's a vice. And I guess while I'm talking, from the very beginning of this episode and sharing my funny story about driving here and the trip and the Sperrys, and then getting into, leaving FedEx and missing my friends, but wanting to be happy and finding a solution here. That's really what we're talking about. At the end of the day, it's what are you doing to be happy? And there are some things that you can't change. There are some things you cannot change at the moment, and that's understandable. But are you doubting yourself? Are you putting yourself down? Are you preventing yourself from exploring options that could bring peace and happiness into your life? Those moments you do have control over. We all have control over something. We may not be able to control everything, but nobody's special in that regard, because nobody's able to control everything. A lot of people might make it look like they can, but they can't. They can't. Ladies and gentlemen, they cannot. All my non-binary friends, they cannot. They cannot control everything, regardless of what they say to you, regardless of the Instagram or Facebook posts that they share with the world, that they choose to share. Nobody can control everything. But we can control some things. Like right now, I just controlled opening this new can of Truly. Same flavor. I'm all over the place with this episode. I like it. It's like a potpourri of thoughts as I look at this wonderful view of concrete and windows. Oh boy. A plethora of thoughts have run through my mind, but I do not want to bore you any longer. So I will be wrapping this episode up, but the weather is getting nice, so I encourage you all, get outside if you can. Now look, I know that sounds hypocritical coming from me because I'm not a big fan of going outside, but I am getting a little better at it. All right, it's good for you. It's good for your family. Get them outside. Enjoy this nice weather. Have a barbecue, have a cookout, have some drinks, drink some water, hydrate yourself, whatever. Do some meditation outside. Huh? There's a plethora of things you can do outside. I can't really think of all of them right now, but that's not my job. My job is just to give you a push and you do the rest. So remember, maintain focus and stay continuous through all 4 seasons. My name is Felix C. Arroyo. These are the Journeyman Chronicles. Y'all be safe. See you next time.